Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk MMA, number 10? Something like that. We're
Probably
here.
10.
We have a co-host now, Cody McAllister. Let's hear from you, Cody. What's going on?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Just got done doing some grappling.
Yeah,
That's fun.
dude. It's like anytime I grapple now, it just seems like I'm gonna vomit all over the place. My cardio is shit, dude.
Dude, that's how I felt, man.
So bad.
We were grappling. I'm like, fuck, man. It's just not good. Good.
I stepped on the scale the other day, and I was like, I am so fat.
I did that, too. I went to see my parents, and we had a scale down. And it's on, like, the, like, uneven ground. So I was like, it said, like, something that wasn't good. I was like, dude, no fucking way, man. Am I really that fat?
Blame it on the uneven ground, right? You're
That's what
like,
I'm blaming
the
it on.
scale's broken. It's fucked.
It's fucking broken. But anyway, guys, my name's Cody. Be doing this, hopefully, with Mason more often.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, let's get into it.
I say we go right in and we talk about UFC 278. Quick backstory. I wasn't able to, like, watch the fight. I bummed Cody's ESPN Plus. I watched it on my phone on the way back from a Bill Burr comedy show. So I got to see the last 3 fights. But do you want to talk about, and I'll pull it up so you have, like, a quick refresh. Do you want to talk about, like, what happened with, like, the first 2 cards on the main card?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we can do that.
And then we can go into the Merab.
So I'm
Aldo
probably
fight.
going to butcher the names, but that's okay. So let's first talk about Tyson Pedro and Harry Hunsucker. I had high hopes for that fight. Because, like, Tyson, I believe, is coming off a long, like, little layover, I believe. I believe he's been out for a little while. And he came back, and Harry Hunsucker, he's good. I believe they fought up at 205 this time. And I don't think Harry normally fights at 205. And this is what I hear. And Tyson fought, and it was great, man. He finished good. It's good for the Australians are, like, taking over.
They really are. Like, the New Zealand, Australia, Oceanic, like, countries are just fucking taking everything.
I mean, this guy looked very good, very fresh. It was a fun fight to watch. I mean, I didn't zoom in on it because it wasn't as hyped up as
Harry Hunsucker is quite the name, dude.
Dude, I laughed about that more than you thought.
And then Yanan Wu versus Lucy. Holy shit. Pudilova.
Yeah, dude. So that fight, man, I loved watching them at the weigh-in or in the face-off. When they faced off, man, they, like, headbutted each other, and Dana White's like, shit.
Oh,
like,
I did see that. I
did
see
see
that.
He thought they were going to, like, throw down, which made it look really good. That was a good fight. It was starting off good. Wu, I thought, was honestly going to take the fight. Going into it, I didn't know much about either of these fighters. And it was a decent performance by what the fuck's her name?
Lucy.
Lucy, yeah, she killed it, man.
Lucy's my gal.
Yeah, Lucy killed it, man.
The GOAT.
I know there's 3 fights that people really want to talk about.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah. Lucy was good though, but
we'll start off with Merab Dvalishvili versus Jose Aldo and work our way up. This one I was actually able to see. The freaking phone wasn't buffering. And this is one we talked about ahead of time where it was like Merab is definitely like the younger, fresher fighter, that like Dagestani Sambo wrestling type. But Aldo just like his striking and takedown defense is so solid. So like going in, who did you think was going to win this one?
I personally was siding with Aldo.
Me too.
I thought and that's not only because he is one of the best, the sport scene.
Yeah.
I just thought he was physically going to take that fight, and I knew going in his takedown defense was very good.
So good.
I mean, I don't think Merab got 1 takedown. I think it was 0 for 15. I think he stubbed.
I'm curious. If
I believe it was 0 for 15.
He was 0 for 16.
0 for
Holy
16.
shit.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just a lot. I mean, although that was a lot of pressure and a lot of takedown attempts, I thought the defense was really good. Jose didn't let his hands fly or his leg kicks, man. He didn't let the kicks fly, and I thought he was going to do more of that. But Merab was great, man. I thought it was a good fight. I don't know, man.
Merab's so fun to watch because he's like crazy. When he's in there, he's just like, you can tell he doesn't want to be anywhere else on the planet. He's just like a straight up fighter. But also he's just relentless and he doesn't get tired. Like 16 takedown attempts in 15 minutes is fucking nuts.
That's insane, man. It's like the amount you shoot for those, you're like, wow, like you think you're going to get tired and you think he would just kind of lay off. And his pressure, man, swing, drop for a takedown.
Yeah, and you think about his last fight too against Marlon Moraes,
Yeah.
where he got like rocked. It looked like he was gonna lose, and then he just comes back and beats the piss out of Marlon Moraes. And he's just a fun watch, like every time.
He is, man. He really is, and he's going to be probably ranked number 3 now.
Yeah, up there. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna look at the rankings.
Aldo was 3, I believe.
That sounds right to me. Sounds right to me.
And that's crazy, man, because you think of that division, that's a pretty good division.
It is, and it's weird too because he's like his buddy Aljamain Sterling's the champion. He's not going to fight him.
No, they talked about that.
Oh, they didn't update yet, but he's totally going to be number 3.
Yeah.
Unless they put Corey Sandhagen 3 and then put him 4. But he's got like he could probably fight for a title now, but they're not going to fight each other.
No, he said that in the octagon.
Yeah.
Did you see that? He's like, they asked him, and he's like, "Don't mention it. Don't mention it. I'm not going to fight this guy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. He's my brother. He's the reason I'm here."
Yeah.
And that was good for him to say, because they've been training a long time. I think he said like 10 years.
Yeah.
So they're not going to fight. That would be fun to watch.
Oh yeah, it'd be
But it's
really
not gonna
interesting.
happen.
It'd be grappling heavy. It'd be like the wrestling versus jiu-jitsu.
It really would.
Well, I mean, freaking Aljamain Sterling's wrestling too. I guess he does a lot of submissions, but he's primarily wrestling.
Correct.
But that division's fun when you think about like T.J. Dillashaw is going to fight Sterling for the belt, Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley. Like what's going to happen there? And then Merab's still, waiting for. I guess he's like a gatekeeper now because he can't fight for the title unless TJ wins. But then you have Cheeto Vera, you have Cordy Sandhagen.
Sandhagen, Son Yadong's fighting in September. So
Yadong's ranked 10th.
yeah, that would be a crazy jump, So there's a lot of guys that could be potential masters, but those guys got to fight.
If Sean O'Malley freaking knocks out Petr Yan, dude, the trash talk of that entire division is going to be hilarious because, like, everyone hates him in that division. You can just tell, like, all of those guys hate him. Like, everyone in every bantamweight, they're like, fuck Sean O'Malley. And if he just knocks out, like, the boogeyman of the division and then he's like, I'll take that title shot, please. And you're going to tell me Sean O'Malley doesn't have a chance against, like, Aljamain Sterling?
Exactly. If O'Malley goes in and beats Petr Yan, man, I personally got my money on O'Malley, but
Oh, you do?
yeah, I think O'Malley takes it, and I'm a big fan, so I'm hoping that turns out for him just because it's going to be huge for O'Malley.
I think Petr Yan wins, but I think O'Malley's going to be such an underdog that I might just drop a couple bucks on him because he totally could. He totally could just head kick, knockout. Like, his striking's really, really good. If you don't respect his striking, then you don't respect the sport. Because his fucking strike differential's crazy. He, like, hits you and he doesn't get hit.
O'Malley's fun to watch, man.
Yeah,
I just love watching him.
He's good for the sport.
He's
for
great for the sport, man. Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to our second topic. What the fuck am I talking about? We're still on UFC 278. Holy shit. This is gonna be a long one, Bora.
It's good, man. It's gonna be tough.
Paulo Costa, the guy who drinks the secret juice, versus Luke Rockhold, the samurai, as he calls himself.
The first thing with that, man, is I was very impressed. I know Paulo Costa hates when people talk about it, but I was very impressed on how he made weight.
Oh my god!
I thought
dude.
it was he didn't look tired this time. He normally looks extremely tired when he's trying to make weight, but he looked good. That secret juice, man. That Paddy Pimblett,
It's working.
That Paddy Pimblett helping, man. It's just It's crazy, man. He looked very good in the weigh-in anyway.
What an unlikely friendship of Paddy Pimblett and Paulo Costa.
Who would have expected that?
Dude, Paulo Costa's so unintentionally funny, and so is Luke Rockhold too.
Dude, that was hilarious. The press conference.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
Oh, dude, it was fire. Dude, Luke Rockhold went right after him.
He's like, I'm gonna make him my bitch when we get wrestling.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
And like that plus the language barrier of Paulo Costa not knowing really what he's saying. He's like, this guy is old, he's young, he's old. It's just like really, really funny.
Too old talking this bullshit.
They're both just so entertaining. But that fight was like, it was weird because they were completely gassed by the end of the first round, and then they had like 10 more minutes of fighting, and it was just them like throwing spinning shit and bombs at each other. And it was like really, really funny. It was like a good watch. It's a fun watch.
I'm glad that fight got fight of the night. I think it deserved it. It was fun, but those man, Rockhold looked gassed.
Yeah.
So did Paulo Costa, so you can't say much, but they looked gassed. But it was fun to watch, man. It was.
The thing is, going into that, I was like, obviously like Costa's the favorite to win because like of Rockhold's chin and everything, but I was like, legitimately like thinking if Rockhold fought Izzy, I think he'd have a chance to win just because of how good his wrestling is.
That's very true.
And then it's not going to happen. He's retired now. But the end of that fight with Luke Rockhold in his fucking bloody face and just rubbing it into Costa, so funny. So funny.
Hilarious. Dude, Costa's face, man, you watch that. And he's just sitting there and he's like, fuck. Like, he didn't know what the fuck was going on. He was just like, this is bullshit. And it was funny, man. It was a good fight. I mean, Rockhold, I loved how, even though Rockhold looked gassed, he was landing some bombs when he was gassed, man. He's like, that time he looked at Costa, he's like, fuck you. And then, boom.
He held his own, dude.
And Costa's like, shit.
Costa's one of those fighters now where it's like, win, lose, or draw, his fight is going to be fireworks. Like, think about his last, like, the Vettori fight, so good, so entertaining. He lost in it. Izzy, he sucked, but it was still super entertaining because Izzy was lighting him up. Then the Romero fight was, like, back and forth, brawl, good stuff. Now this Rockhold fight, too, is super entertaining.
Yeah, I'm crazy. I'm excited to see what next for Paulo Costa.
Yeah.
I believe that was the last fight on his contract, so
yeah,
hopefully they renew that.
Yeah. Hopefully. Because they lost, like, Shane Burgos to PFL, which is, like, Shane Burgos is another one of those guys that, like, he doesn't have a boring fight.
No.
So entertaining.
Yeah, I think I saw something about Dana White saying that, and he was like, shit, that was a mistake.
Yeah, that was a mistake, dude. But we'll talk more about Luke Rockhold later. But we're going to move on now to Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards. First, I'm going to tell a little story about... So I'm watching it in the car, right?
Yeah.
I'm watching it on my phone with a buddy. And we're like 4 rounds deep. And then I'm like, okay, well, Usman's winning this fight. And then we start getting the buffering. We run out of service. We're like, And so I'm just waiting for it to come back, I like swipe out of ESPN Plus, log back in, click it on, and I see Leon Edwards celebrating on top of the cage. And I'm like, no fucking way. I look at the highlight, and it's just a head kick knockout, perfect, like, jab, and then, like, left high kick. Crazy.
Dude, I mean, I was watching it, man. I was in bed sitting there watching it, man. And, like, four rounds in, it was great. Don't mind, it was a great fight, it was good. Edwards, first man to take down Usman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though, like, Covington totally did, but they didn't count it.
Yeah, that was, Covington to take him by. They said right on the thing, it said, it said first takedown.
Yep, on paper.
So that was good, but, yeah, man, I was watching it sitting in bed there, and... we had a minute and 15 left going, and it was going down. I was like, oh, shit, sucked. It was a good fight. I see his leg come up, and then all of a sudden, boom, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, get up. Like, get up. And then you're like, holy shit, man. And that's what's so good about the sport is that it's, when you're in basketball, you're up 20 with 2 minutes left.
You're losing.
A minute, you're losing. Right to the last buzzer, man. I mean, to that last bell, and it was great. Congrats to Leon Edwards, man. It was awesome to watch that. It was good for him, He was very humble after, I believe. He knew he was going to do it. He believed all throughout that he could do it, and he proved it. And he said he fights to the last buzzer, and he did that.
It's a huge underdog story, and it's just like, it's what makes our sport fucking crazy. It was like MMA is such a crazy sport. Like you said, it's unlike anything else. You can't lose like 99% of your game, your sport, and then win in the last second. There's nothing like that other than combat sports.
There isn't, man, and it's awesome to say. And I will say all respect to Kamaru Usman, man. He was pound for pound the best fighter, But as Leon Edwards said what? He said what? Pound for pound, head kick, something else knocked out or something.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's true. I think Usman will come back, and we'll see what's next.
If they did an immediate rematch, who wins?
Does it mess with Usman? Is his first knockout? Does it mess with him? He's on all the streak, beating Masvidal twice, Colby Covington twice, Gilbert Burns, Tyrone Woodley, and then he gets knocked out by Leon Edwards. Does he? I
think Usman wins. That's coming from me, who bet on Edwards to win.
That's true.
Which, like, that's, like, one of my proudest, like, predictions. Because, like, I'm usually just wrong every time. Like, whenever I, like, talk about predictions for this, I'm always like, don't bet using my picks because you'll fucking lose money. And this one, I was like, I just see it. Like, there's too much parallel between Tyron Woodley losing his belt and Leon Edwards losing his belt with, like, Usman going to be in Black Panther, and Woodley was like rapping and being in movies and shit, and it just seems like they had their eyes on other stuff other than fighting. If you're like, in Leon Edwards was just like, I'm a fighter, like he doesn't talk too much on the mic, he's not ultra popular, he's just there to fight and be the best.
Yeah, man, it was great. It was great watching Leon Edwards and watching the video footage of his team back home. Of how excited they were, man. And like he said, he does it for the kids in the trenches, as he calls it.
Yep.
As he grew up, and it was awesome to see, man. He's hats off to him.
What do you think about, like, Usman's family was in attendance, and his, like, little daughter saw him get knocked out.
And that's tough, man, because she's so used to watching him win.
Yeah.
Watching dad dominate every fight, you know, come in and just never has to face defeat. But it's probably good too, you know. I mean, not that it's good to have a little girl watch her dad, completely knocked out, but it's humbling for him, I think, and for her, it just shows you that anything can happen. You can always face defeat, but now, like we say, it's how you come back from defeat. You know, it's what he does next.
I feel like if I was a fighter, I would never, ever, ever have my kids in attendance.
God, man, it's tough. You know, like me and me, you're like Cowboy. His sons, you know, all those like.
Cowboy, it's happened so much too.
Man.
Like over the past couple of years, he just like gets knocked out.
It's tough, man. I agree with you. I mean, having your kids in attendance, just seeing you laying down, and then you wake up and you're like trying to think of everything that happened. Then you're like, fuck, my family just saw me knocked the fuck out. Not only my family, but my kid.
Yeah,
like you're supposed to be the tough. You know, the dad, and you're always going to protect her. You're always going to do your thing, and you're knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
But that means nothing. I mean, it's a sport, and it happens.
Yeah.
And he's a great dad.
Yeah, I think he's gonna bounce back and like take the title back. I still think he's like so good. I still think he's pound for pound #1 probably.
For sure.
It's like him and Izzy and Volkanovski probably.
Man. Yeah.
But I think he comes back and takes it.
Yeah.
And then Khamzat Chimaev is in the wings to come.
Hazmat, and then you know, Jorge sitting there, wants it now.
Yeah.
What do you say, the 3-piece and a soda, you know?
It'd be interesting. It's like, yeah, who's next? That's the question. Who's next for Leon Edwards?
I'm assuming Dana and Sean, those guys, they're going to try to get the immediate rematch, you know, because someone asked that in the press conference, like, or afterwards, the post fight, they're like, "Oh, are you gonna have, you know?" And he's like, "I don't think he needs to wait that long, you know. It was a knockout, happens." And I think they're going to do that immediate rematch. If not, you have Jorge, who doesn't have a fight to date yet. Then you got Hazmat and Nate Diaz. Nowhere do I think Nate Diaz is going to beat Hazmat Chimaev. No.
But if he does,
I think Usman might have to wait for that rematch because I think I mean, although Nate has no fights on his contract, I think they could do a one-fight thing. I think that would be big. I think a lot of people would watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Nate brings fights in no matter what, but he almost knocked out Leon Edwards, man.
Oh, my God.
It was close.
The parallel from the Nate Diaz, like, almost winning in the last minute, and then Leon Edwards wins in the last minute is really kind of weird and creepy. Like, I almost feel like the MMA gods are going to make it so Nate Diaz wins his fight against Khamzat.
Dude.
Just for the MMA world to go freaking crazy.
Dude, it's that thing is, like you said, the almost winning and then the winning is you imagine, I know this is a tiny bit off topic, but imagine being Colby Covington and all this, you know? You arguably are the best guy besides Kamaru Usman. You beat Jorge Masvidal. You can't beat Usman. Mm-hmm. Leon Edwards comes in, beats Usman.
Boom.
And then the thing you're like, the fuck?
Yeah. He had freaking 30 minutes or 50 minutes to do it. And
because does Colby ask for that Leon Edwards fight?
I don't think he gets it.
I don't think so either. He hasn't fought no one since Jorge.
Masvidal, yeah.
And that was a good fight. That fight needed to happen.
Yeah.
But there's so much opportunity in that division for Leon Edwards. But I think you're going to see the immediate rematch probably January.
Yeah.
January, February.
There's a lot of storylines to go because, like, Masvidal and Edwards have unfinished business, but you can't give Masvidal a title shot. Then there's always Bilal Muhammad, who's, like, begging for a title shot, and he, like, literally wore the shirt that's like, I'm next or something like that at the fights. Like, he wants it, but he won't get it.
Dude, the thing is Bilal is he's winning.
He is winning.
He's beating these guys.
He's very good at winning.
I mean, he's beating these guys. He's going against Sean Brady next, and
that's gonna be an interesting fight.
That's gonna be interesting. And he's winning, and you're like, yeah, he's begging for this fight, and then it's like, or whoever's like, no, next fight.
Yep.
Then he beats this guy. It's like they think he's going to lose, and the dude just is defying the odds, beating him, and it's like shit. I mean, yeah, is he? I don't think he's the most exciting fighter, but
he's good.
You have to give him what he's earned.
Yeah,
I think he's close, very close.
He's kind of taking the Leon Edwards approach to winning a title fight, like just win.
He is.
No one cares. Like sucks. Like, like it sucks. Like
and we didn't talk that about Leon either.
No.
Is Leon's last loss was to Kamaru.
Yeah. And no one, for whatever reason, he just didn't click with fans. Until now, and now everyone on like Instagram's like, I've always loved Leon. He's my favorite fighher. Yeah, sure he is.
Shit, that always happens, doesn't it?
Like I like Leon in Bilal, and I respect the hell out of him. But for whatever reasons, they can't really crack into mainstream, even mainstream MMA fandom.
They can't at all.
I think Leon kind of did. We'll see how he performs in pay-per-views now, but
it's all going to be, he's got the belt. Now what do you do with it?
Yeah,
yeah. And now he has to defend it.
Yeah.
And he has to do it arguably probably against the pound for pound yet again.
Yep. It's going to be interesting to see what those power rankings change to, like the UFC rankings. But let's go ahead and move on now and talk a little bit more about Luke Rockhold. So after his loss to Paulo Costa, he ended up retiring, and it was like, I didn't get to hear all of it, but it was like, seemed like he was like really weird about the whole thing. Like he was crying and he was like, I'm old.
Man was choked up, man. He was talking and he's sitting there. Yeah. I saw it too. Like after the fight, I was talking to my fiance and stuff, and I was like, he's going to retire. He's going to retire. And you see him taking the gloves off. Then he's talking to Joe. His hands on his face, he's crying. He's like, yeah, I'm fucking old, man. He knows I'm old. And it's true. He's 37 off what? 2019 was the last time he fought. But it was good, man. It was a good fight. Luke Rockhold is a great fighter. He's fought some of the best middleweights.
Yeah. There was like a period where he was going to be the guy. He was going to take over. And then he just he got cracked too many times on the chin.
That chin, man. That chin. It held up against Costa, man. But that chin is chin's rough.
I'm glad he didn't get knocked out in his final fight. Because
that would be tough.
Like Romero, and then he went up to 205 and tried against Jan Blachowicz, and who would have thought that like Jan Blachowicz would go on the run that he went on after that? But he like steamrolled through Luke Rockhold. But
it's sad, man, because as we're getting older, all these guys are the guys who once ran it are now leaving. And that's life.
That's the sport.
But I wasn't surprised to see him retire. If he won, I don't think he would have.
Yeah, he would have fought. I think he said, "I'm fighting for the title, or I'm not fighting."
Yeah, and he would probably would have got a title.
He could have.
Because
that's the way the sport works.
That's how it works, and then it would have sold some pay-per-views. It would have done a lot. And like you said, his wrestling versus Izzy would have been. Granted, Izzy's got a big fight, but if it would have been Izzy, his wrestling would be very challenging for Adesanya.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting career he's had. He's like kind of a meme for most of it because when he was champion, he like talks a lot of shit about Bisping, got knocked out, and then his interviews are always awkward and funny. But like the dude's a legend. He was a Strikeforce champion. He was a UFC champion. Solid fighter. Fell in love with his striking a bit too much, but like overall, what a gangster. And
he is a gangster, man. The way he pulled up to that to that fucking press conference, chest hair all out, chilling with his shirt off.
Like a pimp.
And just talking shit. And I mean, that's Luke Rockhold. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, and it's just how he's portrayed himself as a great fighter.
Yeah, absolutely. Fucking that bitch ass Jake Paul was talking shit about him on Twitter. Ariel Helwani went to Luke Rockhold's rescue though.
Get this. Luke Rockhold fights Jake Paul in a boxing match.
Oh my god.
That's the kind of guy Jake Paul would go for.
True. But I think eventually Jake Paul, we can't go into talking about Jake Paul right now. But he's going to bite off more than he can chew eventually.
But Jake, if you're listening, call out Luke Rockhold. It'd be fun. You'd do it anyway.
Do it. That'd be fun. I'd like that. He wanted to fight Bisping not too long ago. But, all right. Goes into talking about Jake Paul for 30 minutes. All right. We got some fight announcements here. We can just talk about them a little bit. So Masvidal versus Burns has been verbally agreed to. It's not official. Nothing's been signed yet. But what do you think about that matchup?
Burns proves that he can stand and strike.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he's going to want to stand and strike. And Masvidal's a gangster. He's OG. So that fight I think is a good fight. I really like Masvidal, but I think it's a bad fight for Masvidal. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think Burns will put up a very good test for Jorge Masvidal.
I still think Burns is like top tier welterweight. Like I legit think I think he could beat Leon Edwards. Any fight he's in, I'm like he's gonna win. I was wrong about Usman. I was wrong about Hamzat, but I think he surprised a lot of people in that Hamzat fight, and
he surprised me.
I think his striking's getting so much better. He's got so much pop in his ground game. Like if you go to the ground with him, he's submitting you. So I think it's a really bad matchup for Masvidal. It's like he fought Usman, he fought Colby, and now he's fighting Gilbert. It's just like they're like so similar, but Usman's got more pop than Colby.
Yeah, all three just bring different atmospheres to the fights.
All right. Now we got Tony Ferguson versus Lee Jin Liang. We're going to call him the Leech because that's easier to say. It's going to be at UFC 279. Tony Ferguson making the move up to welterweight. What do you think about that?
Fuck, man. I mean, Tony's what? 4 fights?
How many he's lost?
Yeah. 3,
well, he got
4.
knocked out by Chandler. Before that, it was what? Beneil Dariush. Before that was Oliveira. Before that, it was Gaethje. So, yeah, 4. Unless there's one I'm missing here.
Granted, they're all tough guys.
Really good. They're all really good.
But welterweight, it's interesting. Has Tony ever fought 170?
I think he did on The Ultimate Fighter,
That's right.
if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. I believe he did. So Leach is tough. I mean, he didn't look it against Hazmat, but not many people do.
Has he had a win since then? I'm gonna look.
I think he fought one more fight and he did win. Yeah, man, that's interesting. I hope that it's not Tony's last fight if he loses, because I would like to see him fight someone a little bit more top tier and lose than Leach. Not that Leach is bad, because he's not. He's a great fighter, good fighter.
Makes me nervous about Tony. Tony's just getting old at this point.
How does he come back from that knockout, man?
We'll see. We'll see about that. But
yeah, it's tough.
Carla Esparza versus Whaley Zong for the title, and that's, I don't know when that'll be. Oh, that's UFC 281, right?
Yeah, that's so. November.
They're co-main. What do you think about that one?
Esparza is going to get fucked.
Rip Cookie Monster. Yeah.
Jeez, dude. I mean, normally Rose comes and gets it, likes to fight, throw down. That last fight was boring, didn't like it. I mean, I love Rose. But Carla is going to get manhandled. Maybe she'll prove us wrong, but I don't think so. I think Whaley is tough, man. She's tough as nails, coming off the win of Joanna, the knockout of Joanna. And she wants that belt back, man. She's not a girl to talk. She's a fighter. She's going to come to fight.
She looks scary in that Joanna fight.
Wow.
That was one where she's like, I'm going to fucking beat you up now.
Wow, man. And that fight was close against Rose, too, before that. The second one.
Yeah.
Second Rose fight was close, man. I watched that. That was tough. I was there.
Very close. Very close.
And that was she's tough, man. I think a bad night for Esparza. I don't think she I don't think she keeps the belt after that fight.
The contrast between how boring and poor the performance was between Carla Esparza and Rose Namajunas versus Joanna and Whaley. Like, it just seems like momentum is, like, it seems like she's going to be a champion again. That's the way I'm leaning.
She's going to get that belt.
Yep. And then the other one that got announced, it's kind of big, is Santiago Ponzinibio versus Robbie Lawler.
Man, Robbie's a savage.
He is. I love Robbie Lawler.
When's Robbie going to stop fighting?
Hopefully, like, before this fight happens.
It's going to be a tough fight.
Pons can crack.
But, man, Robbie's in every fight. Robbie does not give up, man. He fights. He throws down. What was his last fight? Ryan Barberena?
Barberena, yeah.
He
looked good in that
he
fight.
Looked good, man.
He was
fun.
Like, slipping everything.
It was fun. But Barberena is a tough dude, too. But, no, man, I think... But, yet again, I think Robbie Lawler is just one of those guys that you give him a name, he's accepting the fight.
He is, like anyone. He's such a savage.
He's not turning down a fight, and it's going to be a tough fight. I think, hate to say it, but I think Santiago wins that fight.
Yeah.
But if not, and Robbie wins, man, and that's huge.
Team Robbie.
Yes, sir.
I love that dude. All right. We're going to move on now to our final topic. We're going to talk about Paddy the Baddie. Paddy the Fatty.
Paddy Pimblett, man. The guy's taken UFC by storm.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, people are going to hate when I say this, but he's a Conor. He's a Conor 2.0.
Yeah, he is. He is with, like, different energy. Like,
different energy. Very
more
good
friendly,
energy.
More friendly than Conor.
Yeah,
but still also, like, kind of a little, like... he gets under people's skin, I think.
He does, man. And that first fight when he came into the UFC, you know, the interview with Bisping after. What'd I tell you, Mike? When he almost got knocked out? Scousers don't get knocked out, he says. And in every fight I've watched, even, you know, the Cage Warriors fights, he gets cracked almost every fight.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, and he just comes back and he's great, man. That last fight with was it Jordan... Not
Jordan Levitt.
Yeah, Jordan Levitt.
The Monkey King, he calls himself.
That was fun, man. Another submission for Paddy. He's great. He's a great dude. Good fighter. Huge for the sport. Yeah, I wonder what's next for Paddy. I know Molly McKinn is fighting in November. They've been on the past, 2-3 fights together?
Yeah, I think since Paddy,
right? I think since Paddy debuted.
Yeah.
I think they've been on each fight.
Yeah.
I would assume he's fighting in New York City. I think that would be huge. Madison Square Garden for Paddy Pimblett.
Oh,
I mean,
it just makes sense. It makes sense to put him on a big pay-per-view like that. Wow. Have him either like as the main prelim fight or have him start off the show.
Oh, man.
Like toss him on that main card. Oh. It's like, who does he fight? I gotta get out the rankings. But
I know what fight I'd like to see.
What?
Paddy Pimblett versus Drew Dober.
Ooh.
Paddy Pimblett and Drew Dober. Drew's coming off a couple wins. Good wins, good fights. But yeah, you're pulling up the rankings. Let's see who.
Dan Hooker might be interesting, just the way Dan Hooker's career is going.
Dan Hooker would probably be a fight that they might want to make for that. I mean, where's so that's top 15.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Jalen Turner.
Yeah, you could do that too. Jalen Turner's crazy. The thing is, like, as soon as you crack the top 15 in the lightweight division, it's just like. It's like getting lit on fire. Those guys are so good. So I don't know if Paddy's gonna win one of those.
What about a Paddy the Baddie versus a Conor McGregor?
That'd be crazy.
Because the sport, that would be a fucking sellout card. No matter. I mean, they all sell out, but shit.
I never thought about that before, but like Conor right now is ranked. When you look at it, he's ranked 12th.
Which Paddy's got to be, you know, overall, you know, deeper in, you know, somewhere in the 20s.
Yeah. And like we've seen before, where like with Cowboy, where Cowboy didn't deserve to fight Conor. He was coming off of 2 losses. It didn't make any sense, and it was like, this one will get your feet wet. It would make sense. It would make sense for the part where they're hoping. Well, they're just, you know, cashing that lottery ticket. It's gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah, it would.
And then if Conor loses, it's like you just elevated Paddy to the top. Wow. But if Conor wins, it's kind of like you're crushing a young star.
You are crushing a young star. So it's a fight to think about, you know. But I think Drew Dober and him would be fun, man.
Yeah,
I think it would be a fun fight. I'd like to see that fight. I like both those guys. They're great guys. And then another thing about Paddy, man, is what about that last fight, that post-fight interview
So
after,
good.
man? You know, I mean, he's talking about how he lost his buddy to suicide, and then the little kid that he knew with cancer, he was wearing his bracelet, and that was tough.
Yeah.
And a big guy like that, a big athlete who you know is not messing around. He's not doing it for fame. He's not doing it to impress people. He's doing it because it's true.
Yeah.
And you could tell that in his voice and the way he was. The way he said, talk to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, there's a stigma of men, you know, not being able to talk about their problems. Not only men, people in general. We feel like you got to hold it in. That was great, man. It was huge. And I believe I saw something like the hotline get like a lot of calls after that. And that's good. Someone using their fame for positivity.
Yeah.
That's great.
He's doing a good job with his platform. And it's like, whether he's talking about the good stuff like that or just goofing around, it's hard to not like stop what you're doing and pay attention to him because he's so entertaining.
Yeah, like when they asked him the question, I forget where it was, some interview. They're like, I think it was a grizzly bear. They asked like, how many men or UFC guys or something like that would take fight grizzly bear, and he's like, one, me. I'll put him in a guillotine, choke him out. You know, it's hilarious.
And Khabib.
Yeah, and Khabib.
And
Khabib. Yeah,
what do you think Paddy's career is going to look like 5 years down the road? Between him freaking weighing 200 pounds between fights and then
that's tough.
His
man.
style.
You can't keep weighing that and keep losing that. You know, he's fighting at 155. Like I think they said now he's 205. You know, 205 pounds. And it's like, that's not good, man. That's not healthy. I'd like to see him have a long career. He's young. He's very good. You know, and you got to think another guy who came from Cage Warriors that is young is in that division. Do you give Ian Gary? No, he's not in that division.
No, he's 170.
He's 170.
Yeah.
Shit. Because that would be fun. Ian Gary and Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah, I think Paddy's too small.
He is.
Like, if anything, I think 145 for Paddy. But if you're ballooning
200.
up to 200, you're not going to cut down to 145.
No,
He's
but
gonna have to go on a diet.
I think he could be a champion. But that 155 division's stacked, and he's got a lot of winning to do.
It just seems like his fights are always flip of a coin, but he seems to one side weighs more. Like, he seems like he gets rocked. It's a close fight, and then he comes away with the victory. But I think with stars like that, you're always in the back of your mind doubting them, and he could have a Conor McGregor type rise. And if he does, if he starts beating these top 15 guys, he is going to shine so bright. He's going to be he's already a huge star, but he's going to be even bigger.
The UFC is going to love to keep that man.
Oh, yeah.
You said, if he gets that rise, he's going to be huger than he already is. And I'm excited to see what's next for him. I would love to see a Drew Dober fight. Don't know if it will happen.
That'd be cool.
That would be a good fight. You know, strikers. Be fun.
Who would win that?
Oh,
Dober.
Yeah, I like Dober a lot. But, like you said, flip of the coin on Paddy. And,
yeah.
I mean, Dober's great. He won his last fight. Nice body shot. Fight before that, holy shit.
Was that Jalen Turner? Who was it?
No, it was, oh, shit. Of course, it was Terrence McKinney.
Oh, I
got
the mixed
Terrence
up.
McKinney, man. He came out the gate like a fucking train, man.
Crazy,
bang, 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 rocked, oh shit, bang, 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 rocked, oh shit, and then boom.
That's the fight they need to make. Terrence
McKinney
versus Paddy
Pimblett.
Because their styles are so similar. I'm just going to come after, I'm going to go across the cage and just slap you up.
Shit, man, that'd be fun. That's a good fight.
That'd be good.
That's a good fight.
That'd be good shit. Do you see Cody Garbrandt was talking about Paddy Pimblett? And he was like, do you know, Paddy's you brought it up earlier, he's like, Scousers don't get knocked out. Cody Garbrandt thought he said sorcerers don't get knocked out.
I saw that.
That is so Cody Garbrandt.
What the hell, Cody, man? I mean,
sorcerers don't get knocked out. It's you think that Paddy Pimblett's a fucking wizard?
Come on, Garbrandt. Come on, man. I mean,
too
many. I'm going to put a punch at Garbrandt. Too many knockouts.
A little bit.
Get to your head.
I want Cody Garbrandt to get a goddamn win. I feel so bad for that dude. He was
oh, shit, man. He was so good.
25 years old or something. He was a champion. He was so good at striking. He made Dominic Cruz look silly and then just knockout. Oh,
Dillashaw wrecked that man.
I know.
And
it's crazy.
He'll never be the same.
Then you find out that Dillashaw was on PEDs.
Fucking Dillashaw.
Oh, rip. Well, on that note, we kind of went off the rails there, but that has been another episode of Let's Talk MMA. Be sure to leave a like. We got Cody here. You gotta leave the likes for Cody.
Come on, man. You got to do it. You know, the first one together. First of many.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
And it's gonna be fun talking these fights with you guys and just laughing it up, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's all for fun. No seriousness.
Yeah, and we'll be a lot more, or I'll be a lot more consistent with this. Like,
yeah, man, we'll throw one out.
We'll try getting one every week.
Yeah, every week, getting them out there.
Yeah.
You know, share your friends, show them, laugh it up. You know, leave us comments what you think you'd like to see, stuff like that.
Yeah, like what do you want us to talk about?
Yeah,
anything specific? We're happy to take some stuff like that. But
Fuck yeah, we'll talk and maybe for fun do a Jake Paul thing one time just cause.
It'd be really funny. Just the roast of Jake Paul.
That'd be hilarious.
Just sit here and what we should do is do some like fight companion stuff.
Yeah.
And just like film us watching the fights.
We should, yeah, for sure.
That
would be great.
Cool.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Would be good. Giving our comments, you know, and not only new fights, old fights.
Oh,
I like old fights, you know, way
like
back when, and get the old guys, and then you're like, oh fuck, you're like, I forgot that happened, you know, shit.
It'd be cool to look at like some classic fights that were just like off the wall crazy.
The rise of Brock Lesnar.
Yes, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
But
you
also
know?
like the Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor fights,
man.
Yeah,
Nate Diaz,
what a guy,
one of the greats.
Yep. All right, guys. See you in the next one. Peace out.